Wings Over Broadway, way on East Broadway, our first Player of the Week celebration with CDO running back Gavin Davis and his coach Pete, Dustin Peace, and of course my brother Javier, and my daughter Maggie is running the camera. And so first, Gavin, you came from a small school. You're at a big school now. Tell me about that transition.
Well, I don't know. I personally like the bigger school because I feel like there's more people, a lot more. I'm a very extroverted person, so I feed off of other people's energies, and the more people around, I don't know, it's just kind of a lot more fun to have, I guess.
And I actually taught with your grandma, Cindy Davis. She's over there. She has the red hair. You got this great curly hair here. Tell me what it's like to have Gavin on your team, Coach.
Ever since we had the opportunity to, have him on our team last summer when he first walked in, first thing that we all noticed right away was how coachable of an athlete he was, and how smart of a football player he was. I don't want to get his head too big today, but he could play football in a lot of different positions, defensively, offensively. Even this summer, he was at quarterback. In the spring, he was playing quarterback for us just because we had a quarterback battle going on. It'd be nice to have him and Rocker in the backfield at the same time. Another idea that we were contemplating with, but obviously with the injury, Gavin has stepped up big. But just the versatility that he has, just in the game of football in general, that he can play anything and not just one thing, but also just a great team guy, fit in right away last year, and had a great role. Even though his first 5 games were spent on the sideline, he was an integral part to our start of the season, without a doubt. But I know he's excited about the first 5 games this year, and he showed it off pretty good week 1.
Let me preface your Player of the Week stats, because last year you had a 10 seed. Obviously, one of the reasons was that because you lost to Filling Wells. And so you had to travel to Cactus, which is a very difficult first-round matchup. Taking care of business this year, you beat Filling Wells, and mostly because of this guy. And can you talk a bit about taking it week by week and what it means to start out 1-0 rather than 0-1 and having the battle like that?
Yeah, I mean, last year it stung in so many ways, and it kind of still stings. And that's, kind of when we did our interview at the Coaches for Charity, I was talking about how emotionally ready we were as a team. And it showed. We had 2 penalties in that game last Friday. We created a turnover. We hang out on the ball. So every aspect of the game, we allowed 66 yards playing defense. Special teams were great. All those things were different. But to be 1-0 is just a great feeling. But today, just little things. Everything we did today, I lined them up on the 20. 2-0, 2-0. So we're focusing on a great challenge that we had ahead of us, but very excited about that 1-0 start.
Of course, Gavin, I think you had a couple of yards, right? 13 carries, and how many yards?
135.
And how many touchdowns?
5.
5, and understand, someone tweeted out later that you were one off the record. You? And who holds the record? Is that Kadeem or the... Okay, how many did the referee have in the 60s? What was that guy?
Might have been 5.
5, yeah.
And
Hockley, yes. So, obviously that was a great performance, and yesterday you got banners from Mr. Mike Wilson from APS Digital Print, and CDO alum, played football, graduated in 82, same year that I graduated, so we're both old guys. But not from CDO, I graduated from high school in Maryland. But here we have another plaque you can take home. Football Player of the Week, Week 1, August 23rd, 2019. Gavin Davis has all your stats there. All Sports Tucson Conquistadors are a very big sponsor, and of course APS Digital. And this is one, I don't know if your grandparents, your parents can fight over. I know you have a banner. There's also a banner at the school. But there's anything like this. I know yesterday when you had a chance to take a picture, you picked your whole team. Is there anything you'd like to say about your team at this point?
Last year transferring, being welcomed by my team was something really big. They welcomed me in, and it really is a brotherhood. Like people always say that in football, it's a brotherhood, but honestly, there's like relationships that you build in football are unlike any others. Like I would consider any of those guys brothers, like as they are my real brother, and it's just a special bond that you have between each and every one of them.
I heard you on the radio I saw you interviewed by Steve Rivera, and you mentioned something about playing defense. Can you expand on that? Defense versus offense, why you liked defense more than playing offense, even though you're obviously a great offensive player?
Well, I like to be able just to, I guess, hurl my body at people without getting in trouble for it. That's always fun, so I think that's probably what would make defense more fun than offense.
Yeah, did you play defense this past week against Floyd Wells?
I did, but I only had one tackle, so nothing very special.
Probably because Corey Bonstrom was back there, probably being a defensive hog. But anyway, I really appreciate it from a coach and player myself that you thanked a lot of your teammates for your success. Now Prescott, I guess you can't call Prescott. Last year you played in the 5th week because I guess it was lightning last year and all that, and it was a struggle. I think their big running back has graduated though. Austin Clark, I think 200 yards, and Diego came up big for you last year. But Prescott really gave Desert Edge a run for their money. I was looking at the stats. They were actually beating Desert Edge 17-13 last week. So I talked about game by game. You can't overlook things. First of all, tell me your feelings about this week, this Friday night.
We're excited to play them. I think it's going to be a good game, a great test again to see, who we are. But I'm excited to see our defense fly around and our offense make plays.
Coach, what can you tell me about Prescott?
I guess I've done a good job already because those exact words is what we talked about. It is the next test. Are we for real? And I've been repeating that over and over to the kids. It's a great opportunity in week 2 to find out because they did play tough and they want to get back at us. They thought, and right after the game last year, the coach came to me and it was like, they're not in an arrogant way or mean way or anything, but we'll see. We hope to see you in the playoffs. And it was true. They had a good seed. They won their league after that. They're always a solid football program. So early season tests, playing way up there on the road. We like the trip. I do. I mean, it's the only time as a coach you sit there for 3.5, 4 hours and just relax. Just let your mind relax. And I think our kids, even though it is a long trip and we all think that, they're riding on a nice charter bus and they get to kick their feet up and put on a movie, and we get to relax our minds and be ready to play football. So it's also a great opportunity to make those kind of moments as a team and bond as a team in those kind of situations traveling.
I was going to ask you about the travel and the challenge of that, but it seems like you guys are looking forward to it, which is a good thing. Now, coming off a big win, 59-0, some of the accolades that come with it, how are you guys going to get zeroed in and focus on the challenge at hand, playing a game tomorrow night?
We have a rule. It's like the 24-hour rule or like 12-hour rule. The 12-hour rule. Yeah, that's the one. So after 12 hours, that at the point where we celebrate is Friday night. All the team usually goes to In-N-Out. There's a bunch of people there. But by 12 hours later, we're in film and we're focused on the next team. We're focused on getting better. What can we improve from the night before? So that's, I think, one of the biggest things for our team is, we played a great game, but then again, we still have to go 2-0. And then after that, hopefully 3-0. And then we just have to, the ball has to keep rolling.
He's doing a good job listening. I appreciate that. Yeah, but we have that rule. But, it comes down to week at a time. And today, another little analogy that we did with the kids is I had one of our quarterbacks put up all the amount of games that he's played from youth football till now. It was actually, 125 games he's played. So what I do is I do 125 seconds. We sit in silence for 125 seconds. It's a long time when you sit in silence for 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And then I start the clock again right after and say, relax. Now I do it again, and there's only 9 seconds left. So the kids only have 9. Some of these seniors, Gavin, only have 9 opportunities left. Doesn't matter who we're playing. We got to take advantage of that opportunity in front of us. Not even to just be 2-0, but to be a high school football player, to enjoy the game of football within your team, and try to be our best each and every week. So use that analogy today. And as long as we do those things that you talked about, how do we focus? How do we, keep our head down, keep grinding on the things and the goals that we want to get to after a 59-0 win? That's just going to be a test of the team that we are and the leadership that we have. That's what we've been talking about. So this young man next to me saying the right thing. So we should be in good hands.
I think you're in good hands with Coach Peace. Blake Martinez just won some community service award for the Packers. And you obviously Kadeem Carey is playing in the CFL, and Metz is playing with the Sugar Skulls. Josh Robbins is one of your coaches. Can you talk about the history here? Obviously, it's a lot to live up to, especially with Bijan trying to overtake Kadeem's place in Arizona history. That's going to be coming up again. Who's the best running back in history? But talk about some of the kids that have come through your program and how that makes you feel as a coach and as a teacher.
It's kind of funny because a lot of what we have as a staff has all been grown in our own home. We have, and I mentioned this the other night when we were at the Coaches for Charity, is, I was brought in here by Coach Nugent. I was 20 years old, got an opportunity to, what's funny is before that was my head coach, my other head coach was John Kashner, which is his brother. They're all related, so I knew these guys before Coach Kashner coached me. So it's kind of weird how it's all in the family. It really is. And then when Coach Nugent moved over, I came over, still in college, 20 years old. Then on our current staff, we have Josh Robbins, we have the Metz brothers who both played with us, we have the Rossi brothers who are both graduates from us. We have the Basie brothers who've been coaching over 15 years with us. We have me and my brother, it's a family. We just, brother after brother, and we just have all these people that are within our tradition and understand our tradition and take pride in that tradition. So it's an honor to have that kind of opportunity at CDO, to have those kind of kids, and then they just keep coming back. Wins and losses, kids in the NFL or not, the real test of if we're doing things right is if, 5 years from now, does a kid come back and, want to be involved with us, or even just to come say hi or whatever it may be. Those are the true testaments of a good program.
I know Metz was coaching last year with your team. Is he going to be coming back in any capacity? And what's it like having some of the former players like that involved with like Robbins involved with your program?
Yeah, Metz is back. Him and actually we changed roles a little bit where I was doing linebackers with Metz last year, and we decided to make a change to get Robbins providing that energy that we saw a little bit on Friday night of flying around, and him and Metz are doing the linebackers together. And I've kind of moved to the D-line a different little piece. But having those two guys, they just get to relate to the kids about that tradition and about what it is to be a CDO football player. And not that they come in, I know your coaches never come in and say, this is how we won, or they're not that type of guys. They're hardworking guys that are where they are in life today, and we're on the football field in their careers because of how hard they work and how focused they are and how grateful they are to be at CDO and then to be back at CDO, and still be there. So we appreciate everything they do, like all of our staff. And I know I said this for charity as well. I'm only as good. Our program's only as good as all the guys we got around us. Our staff and our players, and we continue to breed within that just makes so much easier because I know I can trust those guys. I know that, and he knows I'll get after those coaches too, and 2 seconds later we're friends again because we have a deep relationship. I'm sure you brothers have a little bit of that, and then boom, tomorrow or in 2 minutes you're best friends again. And having that kind of background, it just makes it so much easier and enjoyable for us as well.
So Gavin, we're going to take obviously photos with your other award. I don't know how many you have, like 6 or 7. So anything you want to say about your family or your team so we can let you go eat?
I want to thank my grandma and grandpa, my mom and dad for coming. They're obviously a big support in my life, from driving me and picking me up from practices, or driving me to a baseball game, or I don't know, just the ins and outs of everything that have grown me into the person I am today. So I want to thank my family for doing that for me, for sure.
Well, you're very well spoken. I know at least your grandma's very proud of you. And she drove like 100 miles to get here today, I think. And obviously your parents. Your dad looks like he can play right now for Coach Peace. But thank you guys for coming. And this is the weekly thing. And you can win it more than once. You'd have to make maybe 6 touchdowns next time. But big game this week. In 4A, if you win your conference, your region, you get an automatic bid, unlike the bigger. And so week by week, forget about the end of the year. And I've coached like Coach has, and I know how the relationships come and go. And I used to stay up all night worrying about a lineup. And once I stopped coaching, I slept a lot better. But I still get the urge to be out there, especially when football. Man, that's really exciting to be on the sidelines. So good luck to you, and thanks for coming.
Thank you guys. I want to also just thank these guys and the facility and APS and everybody who put this on. You guys came out to practice on Tuesday. We got this on Thursday. It seems like a full-time job. But thank you guys for everything that you do with our community. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.